welcome to our second episode of What's the Crack with my mate Deano. Good morning, mate. How are you doing?
How are you, Mick? I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. It's been one heck of a week for Watch News. So much happening. We've been sending each other so many messages. And I wanted to start with the one which I was the most excited about until I heard the price, which was the collaboration with Mr. Jones Watches and Christopher Ward. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, I've been chuckling about it since you sent it to me because I'm thinking, why has he sent this to me? Why does he want my opinion on it? But I'll give you my opinion. I'll try to be nice. It's too early in the morning for me to rant too much. So, so this watch, I had to write down notes to keep myself online. My first note says, why? Why? Why did they do this? Why? I mean, I get it. Look, Mr. Jones Watch is very quirky. You love them. I get it. And this one's quirky as well. Why Christopher Ward has done it, I don't know. But look, it's a quirky watch. That's great. Stick with it. But I mean, as you say, the price, I did a quick calculation on the euro. I think it was 5,200 Australian dollars.
3,000 euro, 5,000 Australian, 2.5 grand pounds. Yeah,
I don't see why. But look, I get it. I read it. It took me a few minutes to come back to it. I went away from it. I was like, no, I'm not looking at this thing. And then I said, right, fine. You want to talk about it? I'll look back at it. They've got a Salida movement in it. They've got sapphire. They've got blah blah blah. Yeah, it's great. It's got all features, and that's how they justify the price. But again, as I talked about in the first video, as I talked to you about almost every day that we talk about watches, quirky watches are great, but you can't tell the time. So why do we need a big bloody good movement in there to put the price up? I know it's Christopher Ward's moon phase watch as well, which, you know, right. I get it,
yeah.
But I don't get it.
I'll put the video up here, and as you can see, you tell the time with the two little birds.
With the two wee birds, I see that.
And I'm with you. I loved it, and I thought, oh, Christopher Ward, but, you know, unlike the MoonSwatch, where they leaned more towards the swatch and price accordingly, they've gone and leaned towards the Christopher Ward, and I'm thinking, would Christopher Ward fans want this watch? Mr. Jones fans certainly do, because on my forums with Mr. Jones, I love it, and then everybody's looked at the price,
and then everyone saw the price. Look, it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what I was thinking about. At least with Swatch, they went more Swatch than Omega, and they said, well, look, you can have a plastic toy version if you want, but at least they did that. I mean, so the next thing was how much, because I'm like, that's ridiculous. And then who's buying it? Who's buying it? You touched on it there. Who's buying this, right? So if you go one side, you've got your Mr. Jones fans. That's you and all these other guys, and we've talked about in the first video where you were saying, you know, you tossed up getting the automatic, but it made more sense to go the quartz because it's half the price, and really, is there any benefit to it at our level? You know, of course, the more people that are into their movements and all that stuff get more of a kick out of the better movements. But for us that we're buying, you're buying a quirky watch. You're not buying this watch because it's $5,000, so you're not buying it.
I'm not.
So, so who's in the $5,000 bracket? You know, and you're starting to touch on the bottom end of the luxury watches. So, is someone who's buying a luxury watch buying this watch?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've written it down here. I'm like, who's buying it? Investors, maybe, scalpers, but it's not really. Yeah. Are they going to buy it and pop it up to $10,000? I mean, I don't get it. I just don't know who's buying it. And then I sort of moved on and said, well, okay, maybe I'll move on to what would I do with my $5,000?
Yes.
I typed in Tudor. I got a Tudor straight away, a Tudor Ranger, and I know the Tudor Ranger's got its own sort of people are either a fan or not. But a Tudor Ranger, without trying to find any negotiations, without trying to find the best price, straight on a jeweler in Australia, bricks and mortar, walk in 5,100. I know where I'm spending my money. A tag.
Couple of tags. You can buy a couple of tags for that sort of price. Yeah, absolutely. Grand Seiko,
There's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah. So, sorry to Durant, not my style of watch. Don't get it. It's quirky, but it's quirky at a few $100. It's not quirky at $5,000.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's a common, it's a common thing. We'll see a watch, go, wow. We talked about this last time. You send me a watch, I go, fantastic. Then you look at the price. It will sell out because there will be those who are into Mr. Jones and probably have, they probably do have a Rolex and a Tudor and a Tag, and they go, I want that watch. Very similar to Studio Underdog, and every time they release these expensive watches, they sell out. Even the $64,000 one. Sold out, the passion fruit watch. So there will be a market for them, but they're not. I don't think it's going to transition Mr. Jones into a luxury watch. They have their market, and I'll be honest with you, I'll defend them because they are very good at looking after the fans. They give us sales windows to buy watches. It's very rare that you can't get hold of one unless you're slow and sort of you sleep in, and I like that. They don't really release those ones where then the scalpers grab them, then you've got to pay triple for them. So I say I will defend them to the hill. Look, they probably wanted to do something. For those who don't know, Christopher Ward have become really big in the UK. I mean, they even sponsor Everton Football Club. It's on their shirts, isn't it, Mr. Jones? And it's all over the place. Christopher Ward, So they're becoming really big. Okay, well, you then raised, not me, you raised the Pink MoonSwatch, which was announced.
Okay, look, again, you're riling me up on a morning, Saturday morning, man. I'm supposed to be chilled. I've had a big week at work, No, look, all right, well, I suppose I'll touch on, I don't hate Swatch. I love Swatch.
Yes.
I've got a watch in the house. Whenever I travel, I go into the Swatch. I've got an Amsterdam Swatch. I love Swatch. I love what they do. They do really cool, quirky watches at reasonable prices. I was very excited about the MoonSwatch because, again, I'd love to have an Omega. I'm not getting an Omega, not yet anyway. So, to get an Omega on my wrist, like everyone else, great idea. Yeah. The fact they went with the cheap plastic toy version makes sense because Omega probably wouldn't have wanted them to do a proper watch, like a good watch. So we'll go with the plastic toy. My problem is they went too expensive on the plastic toy, so I'm not buying it.
Absolutely. For those watching, if you've got any comments about what you'd like to see with the new Swatch collaboration, just put it in the comments and we'll feature it and we'll read those out. Absolutely fantastic. Another company, of course, that is constantly releasing limited editions, and I have a love-hate relationship. I mean, I love them, but I sometimes really get annoyed because I think they just feed the scalpers, and we will get on to Casio and their G-Shocks. They released this week 2 watches for International Women's Day. The colours, I actually did a quick spot test with a few of my friends. The violet one was a bit too twee for most people, but a lot of them like the sort of the more lemony cream colour, which you can see up on the screen here. Look, it's a great idea, but G-Shock for me, my favourite watches of all time is the G-Shock. But man, had these every 2-3 weeks, limited edition, Japan only, Australia only, UK only, Singapore only, and you can never get hold of them. Yeah.
Look, I've said it all. Yes. But I love Casio. I've got a couple of G-Shocks and Casios in the house here, of course. These ones you sent me, I particularly like the idea because, traditionally a G-Shock's a beast of a watch. Big hockey puck sitting on your wrist, So it's nice that they're bringing out some that are more, I suppose, directed towards women. That's a whole market out there that they're probably out on. Sort of, I know they brought out the Baby G. They had that. Yeah.
Bit twee for some people.
Yeah, and they're just probably a bit too directed, if that makes sense. Yeah, they had that. Again, G-Shocks, they're awesome. They're beasts of watches, and who's to say that women? And as my younger brother said this morning when he he pointed out that I maybe had a little dig at 36 mils in our first video. And he says, some of us have our mother's hands and wrists, and you shouldn't be picking up the 36 mils. And so I stand corrected. I'm hardly a big-wristed man myself. I would be 38 mils, looks like a hockey puck on me. So it's very good that they're going on the smaller size watches for all of us. Yeah. I'm joking.
You want to talk about the is it called Phoibos watch?
Phoibos,
is it?
I pronounce them anyway. Yeah.
Okay, but what sort of attracted you to this company? How'd you come about it?
Well, yeah, look, again, news feeds, all of that sort of stuff. I've seen them pop up. I think maybe 2 years ago I was looking up for GMT, and these guys popped up. Now they've got a quartz, beautiful watch, an awesome watch. I didn't get it. US dollar breaks my heart because I see dollars and I think Aussie dollars, and then I fall apart when I see, it's US dollars, so you got to put another like 100 and something bucks on there. But so I was doing a lot of research on them, and I get a lot of their emails coming through, and they do some great looking watches. I've seen some reviews on it as well. The one that I was pointing out to you, because we're trying to be current, the most recent one that I saw of theirs was that orange bronze watch, which sort of brings me into the other things as well. I was talking to you about bronze recently as well, and I'm intrigued. Not sure I want the Statue of Liberty on my wrist, but a nice green looking watch. But apparently there is a way to patina them properly, and it is something that I've started looking at. And this particular watch, I think you can look it up and find it's the one with the orange rubber strap on it, and obviously the bronze case, and it looks awesome. And I suppose I could give a little plug for Peter Costa, because he was the one that I saw the review video on recently. So when I've been looking at it online, I then went on to YouTube to see if I could find anything, and he's done a really in-depth review on it. Love the watch, and good company. It's nice to sort of point out there the ones that are not just in your face at all times. There are a lot of companies out there that are knocking out some really nice watches and going down the path of bronze. It's something a little bit different. So I'd
actually did some research on that. Apparently Ethan, who formed the company, was on a trip to Greece, and that's where the name came from, and he just decided that he wanted to have these sort of watches with that sort of Greek influence, I guess. They're not the orange one was the one that, I looked at it and went, well, that's really nice, but I like a bit of orange, which is good. But no, nice watches. And you're right, I think it's very important. There are so many companies out there. And I sent you a link yesterday because, as you know, in a few weeks' time I'm off to Vietnam, and there is one Vietnamese micro brand, and I contacted them and said, look, can I pop in? I'm going to be in Ho Chi Minh City, and they said, yeah, why not? So I'll hopefully have a little video. I've sort of highlighted the watch which I sent you, which I
had a look,
which I'm hoping to pick up, and we'll see what the watch scene is over there.
Yeah, I think my wife will be removing my phone until you leave to go to Vietnam. Don't look at last night, but so we'll see how we go with that.
Absolutely. Now the next watch is probably the most understated watch. I say that sarcastically. It's the Islander Calverton Flight chronograph alarm watch with blue dial. That's the full title. I mean, quite frankly, by the time you've actually gone in and asked for it, it's probably closing and say, excuse me, sir, could you leave? What attracted? This is a very busy watch, and what did you like about this one?
Don't you be mocking this watch. This is the most exciting one.
The title and the dial, I mean, they're all very, very busy. I mean, it must take ages just to write all the typeface on everything.
This is a faithful copy of the Seiko Flightmaster, which sits at the top of my watch list. I want a Flightmaster, but I want the one with the alarm. You can get the other versions, but I want the one with the alarm. And it's very hard to find. You can find it, but they're charging like $900 to $1,000 for it over here, and that's a second-hand watch. And so anyway, I nearly fell off the chair when I was watching the latest video for Mark, and he says he's done a copy of it. I think he's done a brilliant job. He's basically a no brand version of the movement, so the same movement in there. He's copied it almost one for one without being, it's not a complete copy of it, but it's a very nice reproduction. He has upgraded to sapphire crystal, and just a really nice bracelet on it. And I'm very excited. I've already mentioned it to the wife and been told catch yourself on. So we'll see. I'm working on that one the most. That one has now moved to the top of my list of watches that I want.
What's the price point?
Alarm. That one was from memory $349 US, $379 US.
Yeah, it's about $550. I'll put the price up there.
Up about $550 Australian. Yeah. And its postage is only about, I think he charges $20 US to post it over, which is very reasonable. So yes, excited and being told no already. But what a cracking watch. I know it's busy, but it's I love my aviator watches. I love my Fliegers. So this is my style. And he's done a really good job. I'm very excited about it. I know you're not.
No, look, I'm waiting. Sometimes you see the photo and then you hold the watch and then you go, wow, that's fantastic. So look, I'm open-minded. In a future episode, and we've only got a few more minutes left, but I wanted to touch in the next episode about buying watches from Japan, which you're a big fan of. The Target that you bought was absolutely superb. What a bargain. What the condition of it. I mean, look new. It's gorgeous. 550 Australian?
550 delivered, and it came with everything. So I've sent you photos. You can put it in if you want, but it's got all the original boxes, tags, everything. Like it's got the warranty card. It was bought in San Francisco from memory. Yeah. Watch is in great nick. I mean, I think this is the big thing about Japan. If you're buying from Japan, they look after their watches. So when you buy secondhand, I mean, the watches from 2000, 2001, they've got everything.
And then the last one we just want to quickly touch upon, we will touch more once they're sort of released and we can look at them. And Uriah in our watch group sort of put me onto this as well. It's the Casio Vintage A130, which they released a video of these days. Look, how many of these Casios can we get? But yet again, I like the look of them. There's 3 different models, as you can see just here. These are cheap as chips. They are great watches, but how many can you have? But they just seem to be so popular. Yes.
Look, exactly that. Great watch. I've written down here, I like it, but it looks exactly like I've written down it looks like the Casio Royale and the LF20 had a baby, because it looks good. And to be honest, for me, I'd have both of those before I get this one, because it's a nice watch, but I think the Casio Royale is a nicer watch. It's got a world map on it. That's awesome. And the LF20 is just a really cool looking little watch. And I think I saw online someone described it as they call it their dressy digital, and it is a bit like that. It's a bit more of it's a little bit too muted in colours, but I thought both of those watches were nicer than this. But if you don't have either of those watches, then look at this watch.
And they're very accessible. I mean, you can have a 20 watch collection and still get change from $1,000 when you buy these watches, which is fantastic.
Yeah, can't go wrong with this watch.
Absolutely.
LF20. Island.
All right, well, that's it for today. We'll find out what the future weeks will bring. There's some exciting news, I know, on the horizon with watches, but we'll save that for another episode. Dino, as per usual, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll catch up soon.
Good to see you, mate. Take care.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Bye, mate.
See you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.